yewe naje gutwita inda ubu nyimaranye imyaka 6 n'amezi 2.
This mother has been pregnant for 6 years now. Yes, you heard it right. 1 to 3 up to 6 years, all waiting for the baby, but in vain. At some point, doctors checked and found when she was having the baby in the womb. And the next time, doctors checked and found no baby inside her womb, which has left everyone confused.
Kuko natekerezaga yenda ko ari ikibazo kindi cy'indwara mfite, nsanga nta ndwara yindi mfite.
Some people think that she might have been bewitched. Others guess that living near a graveyard might have exposed her to some evil spirits that attacked her. A lot is said, but this woman too does not really know what is happening to her.
Naunga tuba twiyegetse tukaryama nyine byananiraga byuka nkicara ijye urera abana ijye umugabo nkaba n'umugore mu rugo ko byose nijye bireba ariko manu n'abaruzana barunabaye Yesu ubuzima zabuvemo n'ukuri.
This woman has been through a lot of difficulties and is not able to work for her 3 children, and she's worried of their future since providing for them is much more difficult.
Ku buryo giye nagenze naho nanjye nshidikanya nkavujya mvuga ngo menya nta mwana ariko umwana yaje kugaragara nyuma nanone akongera kabura.
What happened to this woman? Was she poisoned? Why is it taking too long for her to deliver? Is that the reason the husband abandoned her? We visit this woman and she tells us more of her life. This is her story.
Amazina yanjye banyita mukaga kwerera Marita. Umubyeyi w'abana 3 baritahiye. Sikaye abana 3 b'abahungu. Abana bo bagiye ku ishuri. Tani mugoroba saa 11.
Marta says that life was a bit better before having this condition, as she was able to work and provide for her family. However, all came to an end in the blink of an eye.
Yewe naje gutwita inda.
I'm living a difficult life condition. Everyone who sees me might assume one thing, pregnancy. But the truth is that I'm not pregnant. 6 years ago, my belly started to grow big and bigger, that reached to some point where I looked pregnant. And then I had to go to the hospital since I couldn't also understand what was happening to my body. The mother of 3 thought that maybe she was having a certain illness that would quickly be treated. But upon arriving at the hospital and when all exams were taken, results showed negative. She had no any illness.
Ko natekerezaga yenda ko ari ikibazo kindi cy'indwara mfite, nsanga nta ndwara yindi mfite. Cano mu byuma nsanga nta ndwara.
It was very confusing because I was not able to sleep. I was feeling too much pain. After being scanned and other several exams taken, I couldn't believe there was no illness detected. As I kept going to hospitals, they found out that I might be having a baby. After some time, the baby in the womb also disappeared. That made it more confusing.
Akubyo naje kubyihanganira kuko nabonye ari ishuri ndimo niga. Muri Yesu azantabara. Cyo ngomba nuko nsenga nkavuga ngo Mana uzantabara kandi mfite kwizera guhagije yuko Imana izantabara.
After being left in a state of confusion as a believer, she put her hope towards God. And that was the only possible solution. Doctors having tried but couldn't detect a thing, and having not enough money to go to a more advanced hospital for further treatment, she remains hoping that maybe someday, when the time is right, God will prevail. She has been like this for 6 years now. Her body is too weak to do anything, and no one would hire her. This makes surviving here a big deal. Even when she does not do a thing, she's always tired. Her body is always weak. At some point, she even sleeps and gets tired of sleeping, walks around and gets tired. She can't get right words to describe the kind of life she's experiencing.
Iyo umuntu atwite ukageza amezi 9 nabwo gereza icyo gihe ananiwe.
Normally, when one is pregnant at 9 months, they're always tired. Now, imagine going through the same for 6 years. Apart from God's grace, I will not be breathing. My condition is so confusing because 6 years ago, I thought I was pregnant and started buying clothes and getting ready to welcome a new baby. Doctors checked and couldn't see any baby in the womb, but I could feel the baby kicking. And I was sure I had a baby, and I couldn't believe the way doctors never saw the baby. I was so optimistic. I could hear the baby breastfeeding, but somehow the baby vanished. To her, she has no way of explaining how she felt the baby was playing in the womb, then disappeared out of the blue. But then after like 2 months, she had the baby returning to the womb. At this point, she thought that maybe it was some evil spirit coming from the neighboring graveyard, as it was totally not making sense. Though she wasn't sure about her state, whether she was pregnant or not, she remained convinced that maybe someday she would deliver. She adds that God had promised her that she would have a baby despite the confusion inside her womb. Having lost the 3 children out of 6 and 3 remains, plus being a single woman, having been abandoned by the husband, she and her 3 children live in this house with only 1 room. The room is too small that we can't imagine how they all sleep on this small mattress. It was hard for me to accept that the husband could abandon us and leave us struggling. I started wondering how on earth I'll be able to raise my children alone, afford their school fees, food and every necessity alone.
Hanyuma umugabo ajya kugenda ntabwo yakubwiye ngo ndagiye aguseze icyakubwiye gitumye agenda.
Yambwiye yuko agiye gushaka akazi yagiye ubwo kubwo ntiyagarutse.
The husband woke up one day. It was during those days when there was financial crisis everywhere. And so he told me he was only going to look for some jobs elsewhere, not from this neighborhood. And that was normal. He would go to distant places and return maybe after weeks or months. But ever since that day, he went with no intention of coming back. He later called me and said he will never return, which broke my heart. At first, the man would send her some money for rent and then stopped sending her money, and it's been 9 months without paying rent. She's worried, wondering what will happen next, as the landlord would evict her from the house anytime. The landlord was also shocked. I could pay my monthly rent well, but after suffering from this condition and being abandoned by the husband, plus not being able to work, he knows everything and never rushed to evict me from the house. He's been so understanding, but on the other side, he also needs money. She's going through a lot. She's enduring unbearable pain, body weakness, and says the last time she went to the hospital was last year. And doctors say that due to how her body gives complicated signals, a surgery would have done worse.
Umugabo arambwira ati reka nkubwire usifuze ko bakubaga. Atabwo niyo mahirwe yawe yatumye batakubaga tuye bakubaga waraguye ku iseta.
He said, I was poisoned and need more prayers, and taking medicine is highly not recommended. Some people advise me to go to some traditional doctors, but as a believer, I consider that to be a malpractice and an evil one. I rather say, God is the one who will save me from this suffering. Right now, she's concerned and worried about her children, whom she has to feed, pay their school fees, and provide other basic needs. Yet she does not work. She's also not mentally doing well, and that is a big and bigger challenge. Had she got at least people willing to sponsor her children's education, then that would be something incredible. I think I'm pregnant because I still feel the baby's presence, the movements in the uterus, breastfeeding, playing and more. The baby is alive, and I pray that God can help me deliver this kid.
Ikintu kiba kingoye no buzima bw'abana. Mbese n'ahantu njyama hariya ni ibintu umva ni ikintu cy'ubuzima mubereho.
Martha is worried about her health condition and worried of her children's future being the reason she's asking for support so that she'll be able to raise her children. She also thinks that with enough money, further treatment would be the solution to her health condition. You can contribute, help this woman to raise her children, and help her get advanced treatment by contributing on the Giving Lives link found in description and pinned in top comments. Thank you for watching. I'm Elijah and this is Afrimax English. Remember to subscribe.